Hi, everyone, and welcome to my LinkedIn Live. This is not my first LinkedIn Live on this platform, but definitely the first in the Web3 industry. And today I invited the greatest experts in several different sides of this interesting topic, Web3, which is investing in Web3, building business in Web3, and definitely science that is backing this industry. Today's topic of our conversation is unlocking a 936 billion opportunity by 2030 in Web3. And why we decided to get together today and organize this event is because we are about to have TOKEN2049 in Emirates, in Dubai, and it will be in 2 weeks. And we're waiting for a lot of guests here in the Middle East. And I see more and more people are talking about Middle East as being a capital of Web3 industry, and especially Dubai. And I want to introduce my speakers today. First, I definitely want to say thank you to Valerie that you join us today. Valerie is a professional investor in Web3. She was a part of True Global Venture and Capital Fund. Right now, she's more interested in AI topics, and I really also want to talk about that today. Dr. Majid, he is professor in King Abdulaziz University in Saudi Arabia, and he also has his consultancy firm that is helping businesses to go to Web3 industry. And Prakash is also here. He's the founder of the greatest company, Enjinstarter, and definitely is going to be a unicorn. And it is one of the pillars of Web3 ecosystem. I'm very grateful for you joining me today. And I really want to open this conversation to you first, because I'm absolutely sure that you probably want to share something with our audience before we go. And Valerie, let's start with you.
Sorry. Yeah. Hi. Good evening, everybody. So I'm Valerie Hawley. I'm in charge of a Center of Excellence of AI, but I'm also passionate about technology. And in terms of technology, I've been investing into blockchain over the last 8 years. And I'm also investing into quantum. So I'm at the crossroad of many next frontier technology, and very interesting, very privileged and interested to be part of this discussion.
Thank you, Valerie. Prakash, moving to you.
Hi, I'm CEO and co-founder of Enjinstarter. We're a launchpad that identifies projects that we want to support. We help them with fundraising. We've done over 100 projects. I'm currently in the UAE. We've got a license with Vara, where we will be launching a brand called Aya that will be focused on impact and sustainability. Very honored to be here and very honored to be on this panel with Valerie. She played a very key role with us being here, and very honored to be on this panel today.
Thank you, Prakash. And Dr. Majid, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Jinia. Thanks for the opportunity and the honor to be alongside Valerie and Prakash. As you mentioned, associate professor at King Abdulaziz University. I'm a consultant as well as a founder and investor within the Web3 industry.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. And I want to open this conversation with talking about Web3 and investing in Web3. As we know, in United Arab Emirates, there is a lot of venture capital funds, but there is not a lot of funds who are specifically investing in the same industry. Let's talk about global ventures or maybe Shrook Capital. They all industry agnostic. And this is something that characterized our Middle East industry in general, venture capital industry. But there is a lot of venture capital funds that are specifically investing in Web3. And Valerie, I want you to talk to us a little bit more about topic of investing in Web3 in general. Do you see any trends in investing? And what can you tell us about funds in venture capital industry that are specifically investing in Web3?
Look, as you mentioned, I've been a GP with True Global Venture, which is actually a topical fund, because we deployed 120 million, 112 million on the Web3 space, starting in 2018. We are actually an investor of Enjinstarter and many other startups. We have invested in many of the use cases of the blockchain. So coming from the metaverse with the sandbox, from permissible blockchain and enterprise blockchain, we also invested into crypto mining, Bitcoin mining, crypto bank, institutional exchange, NFTs, many different platforms of tokenization. So we looked into many of the use cases of the blockchain. I think, unfortunately, with the deep crypto winter that we've just experienced, the blockchain venture capital landscape has had a few years that were very difficult, but they are experiencing now notable resurgence with in 2024 investments that are totaling about 13.6 billion from 10.1 billion in 2023. And even if it's not the peak of 32,000 billion in 2021, we can be optimistic, and the projection for 2025 are good, with the expectation of VC funding reaching 18 billion. I think also the use cases that there are more investment into the foundational layer. There are more early stage investment that are directed towards early stage startups. About 60% of the VC funding in Q4 24 has been directed to early stage startups. We have seen also a lot of interest in stable coins. Companies and are developing digital currency for central bank. So I think also on the regulatory aspect, we are expecting to have more and more regulatory clarity. And to your point earlier, Genia, I think the Middle East is very, very well positioned to drive the sector forwards.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I also want to comment, if you allow me, on one of the points you mentioned regarding the appetite of investors and its how it's very tight with how the cryptocurrency market is doing. I think this is a very valid point. This is a very valid point of discussion. But again, because of the huge influence of the cryptocurrency aspect on the blockchain industry, we have seen that during crypto winters, the investments in blockchain infrastructure are still ongoing, which further highlights the different, the segregation between the cryptocurrency side of things and the blockchain side of things. And I think, as the blockchain industry is growing and tapping into other intersections, I think we can see that segregation very clearly.
Yes, thank you very much. And I also want to say that True Global Venture is the fund that I believe has shares of all unicorns. And I really want to see how they're growing and what will be in the future with them. And that's why, Prakash, I also want to ask you, what do you see right now as a trend in startups world? And also maybe you can share what exactly Enjinstarter is doing for a lot of companies, because you are building a launchpad and you're actually helping a lot of businesses thrive through your ecosystem that you're building.
Sure. I think like what Valerie shared, it's been a very tough time the past 12 months for everyone in the launchpad space. As a launchpad, our key value proposition is to identify the hottest trends and secure allocations for our community. But I would say in the last 6 months, the most exciting thing in the space really is AI. We were quite fortunate to kind of support projects like ChainGPT and kind of help them launch. But what we're really excited at this point of time is with AI agents. We see a very interesting utility where a lot of these AI agents are actually going to be able to serve the community, whether as a trading assistant or kind of helping them with their lifestyle or their work. And that's a key trend that we're actually kind of following. We feel a lot of AI agents are actually going to reduce the friction that we actually experience in Web3, whether it's onboarding new customers or kind of helping them through the Launchpad experience. And that's one key area that we're currently focused on. We're exploring partners that we can work with. And this is really where we also feel we could onboard a lot of new Web2 users into the platform to kind of help them get into Web3 in a very seamless manner. And this is something that we feel it's going to be a big trend moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to add on that, I think the convergence of the two technology, AI and blockchain, is going to bring quite a lot of value. I mean, you were talking, Prakash, in terms of onboarding, user interface, AI agent will ease the process, which has been notably very difficult for users, and I think that has also slowed down the adoption of blockchain and cryptocurrency and all that for the masses, because it's such a difficult user interface, and there are problems with the custody and so on. So people are a bit reluctant and fearful. But with AI, that's going to be much easier, the onboarding, the access, and so on. But on the other hand, I think AI is going to be also very useful in terms of detecting fraud on the transaction and making this trust factor easier to get in the blockchain and transaction cryptocurrency transaction space. So very much I see quite a lot of value coming out of the convergence of the two technology. When the blockchain technology is bringing the traceability and the authentication, then the AI can help on different aspect of easy adoption of the technology as well.
Thank you, Valerie. That was actually really very interesting. And I always wondered to know where AI will give the biggest breakthrough to Web3 industry. And talking about that, also, I want to ask Dr. Majid to tell us a little bit more about science-backed approach. I would say that still a lot of people think that blockchain and crypto is some kind of buzzwords, but there's actually a lot of diploma projects that people already delivered. And also, yes, Dr. Majid, can you tell us a little bit more about your...
Yes, sure. Absolutely, sure. I want to build on what Valerie mentioned. Valerie mentioned something very interesting, which is the intersection of blockchain technology as well as AI. What AI gave us is automation. AI also gave us predictability. And for AI to function properly, it has to rely on a massive data set. Yeah. And this is where blockchain fits in by verifying that data. The whole purpose of blockchain is authenticating data, making data more transparent, more reputable, more immutable, which is the missing piece, or one of the major missing pieces that AI technology really relies on and suffers from right now at the moment. And I see a future where blockchain will be by default, and blockchain systems will be by default a vehicle used to further verify and add more verification and authenticity to the data being pulled by AI algorithms and machine learning algorithms. So excellent point, and I fully agree with Valerie. Now, having said that, again, data is where science is all deriving from. And blockchain gave us the ability to really look into data from a different perspective. When we say that a few developers and a few users are using Web3 and using, let's say, for example, the Solana blockchain or the Ethereum blockchain, nobody knows anybody. Nobody trusts anybody. The whole trust is in the code. And this is what blockchain gave us, the ability to trust the code and create this autonomous trust that comes without having to verify or rely on any central authority or any third party per se. And this is essentially what science right now is looking into. There is a huge field as well. For those who are up to date with blockchain might have heard the term DeSci, which stands for decentralized science. And it's a huge area of research where blockchain comes and facilitates the data gathering, the data authentication. If you're talking about research, whether that research was healthcare research, scientific research, or any kind of other research, it all relies on data. As much as your data is being authentic, as much as your data is being verified and your data is being trusted, as much as the results of your research will be there. And I think anybody who's interested in that field, take a look at DeSci, check what scientists have done already. There's a growing number of publications that have already been done. And I've presented in one of the recent conferences the latest developments of healthcare research and scientific research utilizing blockchain. There is a huge number of that. In 2023 alone, there was more than 3,800 publications of blockchain healthcare use cases alone, let alone all the other different scientific research areas.
Yeah, and I think from the investment perspective, I mean, you can see that people are very much believing into this convergence. I mean, MJX, the big fund that has been set up to invest in AI by the UAE, has actually invested also in Binance, and that's where you see that there is very much a convergence of the two technology, and as Dr. Majid said, they will be supporting each other.
Yeah, I actually really like this statement that blockchain actually made the code trustworthy. And it's interesting. I've never thought about it before. So I think that I really want right now to highlight that the region itself, right? Because I'm right now in Abu Dhabi, and I know that someone is in Jeddah, in Dubai, in Riyadh. So I really want to talk to our listeners and to share what specifically in our region is interesting for this, why this actually happened this way, right? Because it really looks like this is the concentration of everything. And Prakash, you had experience of working globally, right? And probably you'll also share with us why Dubai? Why is it? Why talking in Dubai?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that is troubling the industry at this point of time is regulations. But in the UAE, we have, the full set of regulations to run a digital asset company, depending on what business you are. There's the right regulations to kind of bring a whole lot of trust into the ecosystem. And this is something that we've always believed in. This is something that we feel is required for the industry to kind of mature. And also here in the UAE, AI is a big topic. In Abu Dhabi is where they want to kind of anchor a whole lot of AI-related projects. So this is where we really feel with the right regulations, it supports innovation, and this is where AI and blockchain companies will come to anchor themselves, to use this as a base to kind of launch their business. And yeah, like you said, I've operated in Singapore with experience around Asia, but there's always a lack of clarity in terms of where regulations is going. But here, the regulator sits with us, understands what the problems that we face, and finds a way to kind of find solutions together, which is a very, very collaborative environment that we experience. And that's one key reason why innovation is kind of taking place at the speed that is taking place at this point of time here.
Thank you very much. I'm also thinking about Saudi Arabia right now? Because it's interesting. Dubai is Dubai, obvious, but is it also very developed in Saudi Arabia? Dr. Majid, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, of course. Everyone who has been in Riyadh in the past 3 years, let's say, knows that there has been at least, I can easily say, 200 to 300 blockchain events between crypto events, crypto meetups, blockchain events, big, small, official and non-official. And you can see that the appetite is really growing. Let me really take a step back and focus on Vision 2030, which is really the compass that this country is really following. And we can say that, and I can confidently say that based on my experience in consultancy and working with the government is extremely pro-blockchain. It's really, really pro-blockchain. It's pro-innovation. Yes, we understand that there are very strict crypto regulation and crypto perspective from the Saudi Central Bank to not have regulated crypto or not looked into crypto until now. And in fact, we know that it's not allowed to trade cryptocurrencies in Saudi as per the last statement by the central bank. However, again, the government is extremely pro-blockchain and pro-innovation, and we've seen growing number of proof of concepts and multiple other studies and multiple other use cases of blockchain technology in supply chain and healthcare data management and data storing. And again, which takes me back to the main point I mentioned earlier, which is the blockchain technology on itself is very huge. Although most of the focus and most of the attention goes towards the cryptocurrency side of things and the tokens and everything, but the applications of blockchain in real-world asset, in different use cases, in real-world asset tokenization, and all those things, we're seeing growing demand for it. The Commission of Space and Technology and Ministry of Communication and Technology in Saudi Arabia actually released a legal framework for how to use blockchain from a technology standpoint, how to utilize it, how to use it for data storage, for authentication, for transparency. And that is actually a huge effort from the government. And it was one of the earliest memorandums released by governments in the region to regulate the use of the technology itself, far away from the cryptocurrency side of things.
Thank you. Valerie, I think that let's probably highlight different layers of the ecosystem for people who are listening to us today and share some ideas who are the most active venture capital fund in the region, or maybe also we can talk about specific trade zones in Emirates and something else that startup could be interested in to look at so that they can build relationship here and grow those businesses.
Look, I think you have. Prakash has mentioned VARA, which is a virtual asset regulatory authority that is based out of Dubai. But you have also a pool of companies and funds and ADGM, which is the regulatory body of Abu Dhabi, that is has also issued some regulation on crypto, on blockchain, and so on, and has a lot of funds are setting up foot in the UAE through ADGM. So there is a lot of activities. I think there are a lot of exchanges with Saudi as well, because both countries are very much visionaries, and they want to develop the digital economy, one of their strategic priority, and this technology are part of it. So the whole region is very much at the forefront of what's happening in the space, for sure.
By the way, we haven't talked about Qatar at all. Maybe someone also knows some facts about Qatar, how Web3 ecosystem is developed there.
There are a few conferences. The whole. I think. This region has a very young population, a very early adopters population, and people that are used to have technologies. They used to for gaming. There is a huge amount of game player. And I know that in the UAE, the government has tried to change that and make it a region where we produce game. We actually are not just users but producers as well. So all this population of young adults is very keen on are technology savvy. So it does make sense that this region are very much looking towards digital economy and pushing the progress on all these technologies.
Great. I think that brought us to the topic of TOKEN2049. First, I really want to know who participates. I know that Dr. Majid and his team is flying to Dubai from Saudi. I also want to know, Valerie and Prakash, if we're going to meet together in TOKEN2049. But the main topic, I want to provide value for our audience right now, and I really want you to answer to several questions so that they can prepare for the conference very well. So first, what do you expect from the conference, and how to prepare, and how you can, as a startup founder, how you can benefit from the conference the most? And let's start with Prakash, with you.
Sure. So, coming from Singapore, I've had a lot of experience with Token2049 since the beginning. And I think it's a platform that kind of attracts people from all around the world. Of course, this year, I just hope it's going to be dry weather, considering what we went through last year. It's probably the toughest experience I've had ever, right? Going through the floods. I actually spent the first night, sleeping on the office floor. It was really tough, but I'm pretty confident. Speaking now from Dubai, it's going to be a beautiful weather this year, and I think it's going to happen at a time where it's a very, very crucial timing. Clearly, regulations into crypto are coming in a big way. While the US, it's going to take some time to kind of establish regulations and start, advancing the industry in a way. Everything is here in the UAE. On our end, we're starting to see a lot of capital that's looking to move into the region from Asian countries, primarily from China, as well as India. And we're definitely going to start seeing a lot of projects coming in for that. Traditionally, Token2049 main event is just kind of the main draw. The advice that I have for anyone is to target a lot of the side events. That's really where you get high value interactions. That's really where the deals get done. And that's really what I'll strongly recommend to anyone that's coming. It would be the biggest event in the world, but this is where you will meet high quality projects, high quality investors all coming together at one place. So we're really excited about it. Unfortunately, I've got some family commitments. So I'm headed back to Singapore, but my team will be active here. But definitely look out for a lot of the side events where you can actually meet and interact with the ecosystem and get deals done.
I remember that last year there was a list in Excel file with a lot of side events. There were probably more than 100 events, and some of them I remember it was invitation only. But if you have something like that, this list to share, so please, probably you can just drop it in comments if you have something or some ideas. And Valerie, let's move to you. What is your best advice for startup founders who are right now flying to Dubai and then going to raise capital here in this region?
Look, I think it's very important to be present, to be part of the ecosystem. I mean, there are quite it's a whole experience with networking mixes, with workshop and hackathons, with after parties. So, I mean, it's a mix of many people, many different industry, all working on the same purpose, which is advancing the technology. I mean, I think the conference is also going to be very interesting because the list of guests is quite prestigious. You will have Richard Tang, who is the CEO of Binance and used to be the head of ADGM for many years. You have the CEO of Circle that is coming. You even have Eric Trump, which is the executive VP of the Trump organization. You have investors. I mean, there are expectation of more than 15,000 participants, which are spanning over the whole world. So I think it's going to be a very exciting event, a lot of discussion. I think we will see where really the technology is going after a few years of a lot of difficulties. So I think it's going to be a very interesting event and very exciting. And it will be great to be on site and engaging with other people in the same industry.
Thank you very much. Dr. Majid, please share some thoughts.
Yes, my thoughts about this are whether you were someone who's a long-term investor within the blockchain or crypto space, or someone who's looking to learn about it, or someone who's heavily embedded in the space. Token2049 is definitely the largest or one of the largest annual events for anybody in the crypto community, in particular the crypto community of blockchain. And I think if I want to highlight one major benefit from attending Token2049, which I've personally noticed even from my colleagues and my friends who attended, it's a great opportunity to know news before everybody else. And I can confidently tell you that anybody in the cryptocurrency community or the blockchain community or Web3 community as a whole, knowing information before everybody else is key. And it's key whether you are an investor on a personal level, or if you're a company or even a consultancy company like my firm. And definitely the key people are there, as Valerie mentioned. People who are really pushing and moving the space are there. And it's a wonderful opportunity. I cannot really agree more with the fact that there is huge value in the side events, as mentioned initially by Prakash. And usually it's where the deals are made. Just being in Dubai during the Token2049, I think, is really a great opportunity for anybody in the space, whether they end up attending 2049 or not.
Yes.
Yes, I actually also wanted to share a couple of things, how I usually prepare for conferences, and my team is doing for me. We usually scrape data of all speakers who are there. We filter them out, and we understand who is relevant for us, who we want to get acquainted with. And then after that, we usually send messages from LinkedIn. And then after some people who are very open and open for a meeting, we ask them to share a WhatsApp number, because at conferences like this, huge conference, even if you schedule the meeting with someone, it won't happen in the same time that you agreed on. And the only way how you can connect to this person is just to text them. I usually prepare, let's say, I can meet, 5 people per day, and then I'm texting them one day in advance in the evening and have like preliminary schedule. And then after that, during the event, we text each other in the morning, and someone got delayed, someone was called out in the office, or maybe there is another meeting. And so this is the only way how you can actually connect with people. And that's probably and also I think that most of the people in Web3 world, they really like to share the Telegram, not just the WhatsApp number. So that is my advice. And if someone who is listening to us right now wants us multipliers to introduce to investors here, this is exactly what we are doing as business for 3 years already. And we are specifically working with seed and Series A companies, and we position ourselves as a gateway from global technologies to the Middle East, and very proudly doing this job for several years already. I think that before we go to Q&A session with our listeners, because I see that there is also several questions already in the chat. First, I want to encourage everyone to ask questions, post them in the chat. But before that, I want to ask my panelists right now to share something that you would also want to share with the audience. Maybe there is an announcement in your business, or you also probably want to highlight something, or just generally want to share some ideas with people who are listening to us. Please, let's start with Valerie, with you.
With me? Look, I think the space is moving, so I would advise everybody to get educated and to keep up to date with what's happening in AI, in blockchain, because these two technology are going to revolutionize the next few years. They evolve very, very fast. So I think going to this event, listening to this kind of interactive session is a very good way to learn, to know what's going on, what are the trends, what are the challenges, and I would recommend everybody to do so.
Thank you. Prakash, do you have something to share?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very challenging period that the industry is going. Definitely a lot of people are starting to question whether or not we are in a bull market. What I really want to share with everyone is that the entire world is kind of going through, a shakeup. But this is where innovation will always lead, and where we are with AI and blockchain. It provides everyone to actually kind of participate in this space. They can come in, they can embrace innovation, they can invest if they want to, but more importantly, they can be a part of this entire movement. Where the world is headed is definitely something that's going to be built on blockchain and AI. It's going to affect all our lives. The way that we live, work, and play is going to change. I'll invite anyone who's listening to be a part of this journey, and to look at the bigger picture, right? Short-term gains never last, but trends and innovation will always be there. And that's really what I want to leave behind as we wrap up.
Thank you, Prakash. It was very empowering. Dr. Majid?
Yes, amazing two statements by Valerie and Prakash. What I would really like to add on is the Web3 industry is an opportunity today. We're talking about an industry that is less than 2 decades old, almost 15, 16 years old. There's a great opportunity for people to learn. There's a great opportunity for investors. There is a huge opportunity to learn more about this technology, which we believe is going to be a layer of multiple technologies in the future, from an education perspective, investment perspective, even to pursue a diploma, as you first mentioned, or proper education for the young generation right now within the blockchain or Web3 ecosystem. This is a great, wonderful opportunity that we're in, and I think it's just the early days and just the beginning of this whole industry, and looking forward to the future of this industry.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I just want to add that at the end of the day, I think blockchain is a very inclusive technology, and in the world we are living, it's something we don't get much of, and I think technology is going also to mitigate quite a lot of the challenges that are presenting to ourselves. I mean, being geopolitical, being actually also climate change. And that's why it's so important to embark everybody in that technology stream and wave, so that people understand and get the full benefit of these technologies.
And I'm also thinking that the community in Web3 is also very supportive. So
Yes.
I think it's a special kind of people. And yeah, totally agree with you.
It's true, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's the possibility of banking the unbanked in Africa. It's something that is, I mean, the blockchain has always been very inclusive.
Great. So I think that we have probably 10 minutes for several questions that here in the chat. The first one is there enough technical talent in the region to support large-scale Web3 adoption, or are we still relying on global teams? This is a very good question, by the way. Who wants to start first?
I'm happy to start with that. I think there's a lot of people who are actually kind of moving to the region with a whole lot of talent. Some of them, various reasons why they're actually kind of moving here. We're definitely seeing a lot more smarter people moving into the ecosystem, and a lot of them just really want to kind of build, cool companies, build technology that's going to impact the world. And I really see that big flow coming in. It's very easy to get visas. It's very easy to kind of scale teams here. And I feel that's really what's going to support a lot of it. So we're definitely seeing a lot of strong technical talent coming into the region. And I feel it's definitely something that's growing in the space.
And from the university perspective, I think university are getting bigger, stronger at the global, at the international level, as good as university in Europe. And it will be a pipeline of talent that is going to be fully, how can I say, but very ready to go very soon.
Interesting. Dr. Majid, do you think that also in Saudi there is more and more universities who produce more and more talent for this kind of companies? Can you tell us?
Absolutely. I agree with Valerie 100%, and I really want to thank the user for this question. It's an excellent question. Year on year, we're seeing growing number of local talents as well, and the universities are really responding to this emerging technology. We're seeing growing number of master theses of students in the computer science faculties and other even faculties. Thesis about blockchain technology, thesis about the use of blockchain technology in multiple use cases. We're seeing growing number of requests from students to take elective courses in blockchain technology. We're seeing growing number of requests to attend conferences in blockchain technology as well. And again, this is an early stage technology we're in. So, of course, there isn't any country in the world, or there isn't any region in the world that has enough talent to accommodate this huge, shift in that technology. But we're definitely year on year seeing significant increases in the number of local talents, as well as Prakash mentioned, international people who came to the region. So they also add up to the local number of talents as well, and sharing their experience with the locals in the region.
Yeah, I also think that the same question goes to AI industry and to any other new industries.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For sure.
The next question is also, I also like it. Which industries in the Middle East are best positioned to benefit from Web3? And supply chain, healthcare, real estate, energy, or something else? And I think that we talked a little bit more about how AI is disrupting Web3. But right now, this is a question how Web3 is disrupting all other traditional industries.
I think if I may start, I think, again, thank you very much for the amazing question. I truly believe that as much as this industry has problem with data management, as much as there is potential for Web3 and blockchain technology to really disrupt and help fill those gaps. Year on year, we're seeing different use cases and different dimensions of using blockchain in day-to-day use cases and across multiple industries. But I believe the core of blockchain is in data verification. And again, data is involved in all sectors. So as much as these sectors are data agnostic and data is integral to them, as much as I think there is potential for Web3 to disrupt them. I think I can speak globally. We've seen growing number of supply chain use cases and track and trace use cases as well due to the transparency, and we've seen multiple supply chain proof of concept use cases here in Saudi Arabia, in particular in the MENA region, as well as data management for healthcare, patient data management records, and different data management platforms. We've seen that, and it works and fulfills the purpose really well.
If someone want to add something, we have 5 more questions.
Yeah, I think it cuts across all the industries that have been listed. I think Web3 is going to be an integral part of any industry's innovation. Here in the UAE, we definitely see a lot of adoption in real estate, a lot of adoption in energy and healthcare. And I feel it's just one of those technology that's coming in a very disruptive manner, not to replace, but to really just kind of enhance what everyone is doing to provide better clarity, like what Dr. Majid mentioned, but also to kind of help everyone kind of advance with digital transformation, and that's really what we see. The beauty about the region is they're very, very open to embracing up and coming technology, whether it's blockchain or AI. They're always looking for ways how the technology can serve them. They don't really see it as a fear factor. And that's really what's been very encouraging for us operating in the region.
I see one question from my team, and I'm so grateful every single time when someone from my team joins the webinar. What do you think are the biggest barriers preventing Web3 startups from scaling beyond early adopters, and how can founders overcome them?
Well, I think the blockchain has had for many years the problem of adoption, of mass adoption. It remain a very it remain a technology or use cases that are still very that haven't reached mass adoption like other technology. So I think everything that helps that is always an interesting value proposition. And that's why, as Prakash was saying before, I mean, using AI to perhaps enhance the onboarding, enhance the user interface, I mean, can be a solution for that.
We actually have just 3 minutes left, and we have one person asked 5 questions. So let's do that. One question per each speaker. And the first is, what are the most important criteria that investors are considering today for Web3 startups? I think, Valerie, this is a question to you.
What are the most important? Wow, I think we've gone back to the fundamental of investing into blockchain. I mean, does that really solve a real problem? I mean, does that bring business value? I think that's the first point. I mean, is the solution that is proposed actually solving a real problem? So that's the first thing that we look at, and that apply to Web3, but any investment basically, because we want investors, they want a market for the product or the services that the startup is developing. So that's the first thing. The second thing is probably the team. We are always, I mean, to be a founder takes a lot of resilience. To build a startup takes a lot of ups and downs, like we have seen. So it's very important to see the team, to assess the team and its ability to lead the project and to lead it to scale. We at TGV, we normally only invest into serial entrepreneurs, because these are people that have already done it. They have gone through the ups and downs, and we know that they are resilient enough to take the project forward, even if the economic context, or even if the global context gets worse. So that's what we're mainly looking at.
I think that let's just cover one last, and so that the last one is, how can blockchain improve medical and scientific research in the decentralized science model? I think that's probably a question for Dr. Majid.
Yes, like I said, when we look at science, when we look at data, if a certain medical company or a pharmaceuticals company wants to publish data from a clinical trial that they did for a certain vaccine or a certain drug, the key here is how accurate was their data. This is the most important piece. This is the most important factor in an industry such as the pharmaceuticals, for example. If we can see that every patient that was involved in the trial has had a log on an immutable database, on a ledger, on a blockchain infrastructure,
Yes, I see a very nice comment about the talent. It's probably someone is commenting to Valerie what you said. Talent plays a critical role in developing and transforming modern technology, especially when combined with hands-on training and real-world application. And there is a lot of other questions. So what we usually do with them, we usually collect them and publish another article or post. I will definitely pass all these questions to our speakers today. And maybe if they will find time, then we will publish a newsletter or maybe a post so that we can cover everything. But I want to say thank you for all speakers. You've done an amazing job. It's always great to see that someone is just sharing knowledge freely on platforms like YouTube or LinkedIn. And especially, I'm very grateful that you're doing that for my community on LinkedIn. And I'm grateful for my followers on LinkedIn that they always jump in, send a lot of questions, very actively participate, all these events that are organized. And yes, I think that we've done an amazing job, prepared everyone for TOKEN2049. And I want to wish everyone a great weekend and the next week, and obviously a great TOKEN2049.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you very much, Jenny.
Yeah.
Bye.